Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be talking about all the books that I read in February. I read 9 books. We'll also be having coffee because it's been that kind of day. So let's get into it. The first book that I read in February was Interesting Facts About Space by ℚ𝕚𝕚𝕚. This book had me giggling out loud. I absolutely love and adore Enid. She is our quirky main character who you just are rooting for throughout the book while she online dates multiple women. And she is a true crime podcast girly, and throughout the book she's kind of talking about her podcasts and I think it's so relatable, like her thoughts about them. The author did a truly amazing job just showing what it's really like to be human with all our flaws and how that can be one of the most beautiful things about us. And not only that, but you have mental health rep in this book and you have dysfunctional family relationships. And I ended up giving this book 4 stars. Let's talk about Throne of Glass. So I've only read, I guess you could say, the first 2 books, which is Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. I did not start with Assassin's Blade. I think I'm following the romantic version where you read it after Fire. Or I think there's another book and then you read it after that one. I don't know. I have a list. Let's start with Throne of Glass. So Throne of Glass, you follow the character Selena. I'm horrible with names. This is nothing new. In this book, you follow Selena. She gets summoned to basically fight for her freedom, or she can go back to the prison and basically die there. Like, she doesn't have many options. Follow her as she goes through all these trials. During these trials, there's something evil happening in the castle and she tries to uncover what exactly is happening. You meet the Crown Prince Dorian and his captain Kale, which I'm a Kale girly. I've been a Kale girly since he was first mentioned. I did not start off with Dorian. I've been a Kale girly since page 1. So basically she's been a slave and she no longer wants to be a slave, so she is taking up the offer of competing and winning the trials for her chance at freedom. So if she does win, her freedom is not immediately granted. She has to hang around for a couple of years as the king's royal assassin, and after that then she can become truly free. And from Selena's point of view, and I'm pretty sure as many others' point of views, like, that's the smartest thing that she could do, because either rot in the salt mines or she can become free. While she's out there, she learns more and more about kind of why the king bans magic. Like, not the full reason, but it's kind of like sprinkled throughout. But I give this book 4.5 stars. Let's talk about Crown of Midnight with my man Kale on the cover. This book, if you have not started it, please kind of click away, because I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but just click away just to be safe. So Selena has obviously won the competition because we're on the second book. The king has basically given her a list of people to hunt down, which are all, according to him, rebels to the kingdom. There's also more mysteries under the castle, and there's more mysteries with the king, and she basically uncovers all of that. I gave this book 4 stars, which, as you can tell, I really liked this book, which I think I should have started off by saying I don't tab my books. I dog ear my favorite pages, and I also highlight them. That's the type of person I am. I don't think it's that bad, quite honestly. I'm going on a rant, but like, I think it honestly looks nice. I think it looks pretty. These are my nerdy ink dust jackets, and I think they're absolutely stunning and beautiful. And on the inside, you've got the mat, And the back on this one says, I give you this name to use when other names grow too heavy. And then on this one, you've got my man. And this one says, hide from fate all you like, but it shall find you soon. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't want to give too much information for all the people that haven't read it. But all I will say is, I don't know why I waited so long to read the series, because I'm absolutely loving it. Loving it. I don't want to say that I love it more than ℚ𝕬𝕳, but it's definitely like getting there. The last physical book that I read was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. It's marketed as Hunger Games vibes with magic. In this book, you've got the ordinaries and the elites. So the elites are people that have magic, and the ordinaries are ordinary people who don't have magic. According to the king, he believes that elites are superior and should be the main people on the planet instead of the ordinaries. They basically go to a Hunger Games-esque competition and they battle it out. In this book, you follow Kai and Payton. So Payton is an ordinary, whereas Kai is an elite who also happens to be a prince of the kingdom. Payton, she's kind of telling people that she is a psychic, and so one day she kind of happens to save Kai's life, and that's kind of how she gets brought into the whole Hunger Games like competition, and then they develop feelings. To me, this book was just okay. I went into this book thinking that it was a romance, and I think this is a perfect example of what people would or would not consider a romance. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that they do not kiss. They don't have one kiss. It's just a lot of tension that is built up throughout the entire book. It's supposed to be enemies to lovers, but to me, it was not reading as enemies to lovers. While reading, it sounded exactly like the Hunger Games. Like, it wasn't like little sprinkles of the Hunger Games. Like, to me, it felt like some names were changed out. A lot of people liked this book, so if you guys still think that it sounds interesting, go ahead and read it. You might actually like it. But to me, unfortunately, it did not work out. I give this book a 3 stars. I actually buddy read this with one of my Bookstagram friends, and we both went into this book with really high hopes. So I don't know if that also has something to do with it, but we both gave around the same rating. The rest of the books that I read were on my Kindle. I'm holding my Kindle because I literally have to have something holding in my hands, or else to me it just looks funky. One of the books that I read was Butcher and Blackbird, which is a dark romantic comedy. It's basically 2 serial killers who fall in love. And there are some scenes where I was like, wow, okay, such as you may never see ice cream the same. I did really enjoy the first half of the book. As soon as it got to the spicy scenes, I personally kind of lost interest. It's like dirty talk, so to say, was not doing it for me. Like, I did not enjoy it at all. Right after that, I just was skimming through the rest of the book. I did hear that audio is supposed to be better, so I might give it a try on audio, but I did give this book 3 stars. The second book that I read on my Kindle was Divine Rivals. That book is about 2 rival journalists who basically end up being journalists on the war front. And they basically fall in love. I don't want to give too much up. But I thought it was cute. I thought the journaling typewriter aspect was absolutely adorable. And I think the notes were so cute. I actually do own a typewriter, like a vintage typewriter. So I loved it. To me, I was not impressed at the ending or with the ending at all. To me, the ending kind of felt rushed and like it came out of nowhere. I think that's the main reason I gave this book 4 stars. Next up, we have Hearts and Arrows. It's about this girl who absolutely hates Valentine's Day, and she ends up getting invited to a Valentine's Day party at this new club that like just opened up. And she ends up having a really fun time, if you get what I mean, with the club owners. And I can't remember if it's 3 guys or 4, but it's a wide choose. I was enjoying it up until the spicy scenes. She started saying samesies during said spicy scenes. I don't know why, but immediately I was uninterested. I kind of flew through the rest of the book after that. I gave this book 3 stars for that exact reason, which to me 3 stars is it was okay. I don't think 3 stars are bad, but it was just okay. This is a part of her holiday series. I might try the Easter holiday book. Big might. Enjoyed it, so I think that's possibly why I want to also try her second book, because up in that point I was vibing. I loved it. I loved her trigger warnings page. I loved her first 3 pages. I literally was laughing because I loved it so much. Another book that I read this month was Gator Queen, and I received this as an ARC, so thank you to NetGalley and Tara Lush for giving me an advance copy in exchange for a honest review. I absolutely loved this book. So this book was my first cozy mystery, and it definitely will not be my last. And so this book is a part of her Critters and Criminals series. You basically follow our main character, who is a gator trapper in Florida, and her twin sister Vera, who is opening a bookstore. Their gator trapper rival mysteriously ends up dead, and they are trying to figure out who, what, and why he just mysteriously died, while also trying to clear their names. Throughout the book, you also get sprinkles of romance, and the romance is kind of fake dating at first, and I give 4.5 stars. Lastly, let's talk about my 5-star read for the month of February. I gave 5 stars to Where is Molly? And I absolutely love this book. Before you read this book, I think you guys should be reading the cat and mouse duet first, because in Hunting Adeline, you kind of get a hint about who Molly is, because she's the girl that wrote the letters that Adeline finds. In this book, you meet Molly and Kate, who I absolutely love and adore. Molly, you kind of get her backstory about what happened, and you also see her present day still living her life and how she lives her life after everything that happened. He falls in love with Molly, and he's absolutely adorable, and he has a very, very filthy mouth. His mom, I absolutely love his mom. His mom does not have the filter. The things that she would say had me laughing out loud. In this book, I literally found my favorite quote of all time, so I will definitely insert it. Definitely recommend if you liked the cat and mouse duet, and if you are okay with the trigger warnings. That was it for today. So if you guys enjoyed this video, comment down below what your favorite books of February were. Bye.